Hey, good morning everyone. There's a moment, quiet, private, and invisible to everyone else, when you start to feel like you're not enough. It doesn't happen all at once. It builds in the comparisons you silently make, in the conversations where you shrink instead of speak, in the way you downplay your wins because someone else's life seems louder, better, faster, and just like that, you begin to live in the shadows of other people's confidence, other people's beauty, other people's success. You don't always admit it out loud, but it's there. The subtle belief that you're somehow behind, that you don't measure up, that you're less than. But let me ask you something and answer honestly. Who told you that you weren't enough? Where did that belief come from? Because you weren't born feeling inferior. You learned it. You learned it through moments that made you doubt your worth. You learned it through people who made you feel invisible, through systems that celebrated the loud, the perfect, the polished and overlooked the quiet, the real, the raw dot. But just because you learned it doesn't mean you have to live by it. Feeling inferior is not proof of truth. It's a signal to unhealed spaces, and those spaces aren't signs of weakness. They're invitations to reintroduce yourself to your value. Because here's what no one tells you. The people you're comparing yourself to, they doubt themselves too. They overthink. They feel behind. They wonder if they're good enough, just like you do. The difference: some of them have just gotten better at hiding it. So, how do you stop feeling inferior? You stop chasing their path and start owning yours. You stop assuming everyone else has it figured out and start realizing that most people are just surviving in disguise. And most importantly, you stop waiting to feel worthy and choose to treat yourself like you already are. Because the truth is, no one can make you feel inferior without your permission. And I know that's hard to hear, especially if you've been overlooked, underestimated, or made to feel small your whole life. But your power begins the moment you stop outsourcing your value. The moment you stop measuring your worth in likes, compliments, attention, or comparison. You are not less than anyone. Your journey isn't meant to look like anyone else's. You are not behind. You're just in a different season. Some people peak early, some bloom late, but the ones who thrive, they stop rushing. They stop performing. They stop needing external proof of internal worth. And if you've been feeling like you don't measure up, maybe it's time to change what you're measuring yourself against. You're not here to be better than anyone. You're here to become the best version of you. To walk into rooms and know that you belong not because someone said so, but because you decided so. And don't get it twisted. Confidence isn't arrogance, it's presence. It's the quiet knowing that you matter, even when no one claps, even when no one notices, even when you're still figuring things out. So let go of the comparisons. Let go of the false timelines. Let go of the pressure to be anyone but you, because your worth was never up for debate. It doesn't rise and fall with other people's opinions. It doesn't need validation. It needs acknowledgement from you. So, if you've been feeling inferior, pause, take a breath, and remind yourself you are enough right here, right now. Not when you get the job, not when you look different, not when someone chooses you. Now, the world doesn't need another imitation. It needs your voice, your presence, your truth. If this message spoke to something inside, you don't scroll past it. Subscribe if you're ready to stop shrinking and start standing in your worth. Share this with someone who's been dimming their light because they've forgotten who they are. And most importantly, look in the mirror tonight and say this out loud: I am not less than anyone. I don't need to compete. I am already enough. Because once you believe that, the world starts believing it too. And from that moment on, you stop living in the shadows. You start living in your truth.